Imagine entering a world where the delicate roar of a smooth six-cylinder engine, the aroma of polished leather, and the gentle click of a well-made switch were all considered aspects of elegance. These vehicles were designed to command attention without ever yelling, in addition to being used for transportation. Today, we travel back in time to examine 10 vintage British vehicles that epitomized luxury rather than merely selling it. These saloons carried the essence of British engineering and soul while whispering finesse in every curve and line. Which of these iconic vehicles would you want to drive down a country lane at dusk or park in your garage? The Rover P5, 1963 to 1973, which became the pinnacle of understated power in Britain, comes in at number 10 on our list. The P5, also referred to as the Queen's car, blended an impressive appearance with exceptional dependability. Its 3.5-liter straight-six engine provided smooth performance, and driving it was like operating a private yacht. It was precise, controlled, and incredibly powerful. With its soft leather seats, walnut veneer panels, and controls that felt substantial to the touch, the P5's interior was a lesson in restraint. Without a single flourish, it had a presence that spoke volumes for a British saloon from the 1960s. Fun fact, it became the preferred vehicle for dignitaries and prime ministers, and for many, possessing a P5 meant more than simply luxury, it meant being a part of an elite group of sophisticated and tasteful people. Can you picture yourself driving around in one, the engine purring beneath the bonnet like a happy lion? The Jaguar Mark X, 1961 to 1970, a magnificent and sporty saloon that was uncommon in its time, comes next at number 9. With the Mark XS gorgeous long wheelbase design and potent 3.8-liter XK engine, Jaguar enhanced the elegance of the MkII. This car was a declaration of intent rather than just a luxury car. Every drive was buttery smooth, as if it were hovering above the road thanks to its hydraulic suspension. The cabin's deep pile carpets, hand-stitched leather, and polished wood surfaces gave it the feel of a gentleman's club on wheels. For the enthusiasts observing, a subtle question remains. Have you ever driven a car that made you feel both in control and pampered? That was precisely what the Mark X provided. In order to enhance rear passenger comfort, Jaguar's engineers added split-level back seating, which is a rare nod to actual luxury rather than just marketing. This is something that many people overlook. The Bentley T-Series, 1965 to 1980, which skillfully combined classic British charm with quiet power, comes in at number 8. Bentley, a brand known for its elegance, created a saloon that was both commanding and friendly. Beneath the hood, a 6.2-liter V8, later upgraded to 6.75 liters, groaned with power but never bragged, whispering that it would accelerate with ease when necessary. The interior was an absolute luxury, with rich leather, thick pile carpets, and controls that seemed to have been crafted by people who knew what true luxury was. Craftsmanship was evident in every aspect, from the seatbelt's tension to the gear lever's haptic click. Not to mention the driving experience, which was more about drifting along broad roads and letting every bit of engineering envelop you like a loving hug than it was about harsh cornering or racing lap numbers. Have you ever pondered why Bentley owners appeared to be virtually untouchable during that time? It was because the T-Series defined trends rather than following them. The Triumph 2000 MkII, 1969 to 1977, which struck the ideal combination between performance and elegance, comes in at number 7. Although Triumph had long been associated with athletic sedans, the 2000 MkII demonstrated the company's mastery of executive elegance. Although it wasn't the quickest saloon of its era, its 2.0-liter inline-4 engine provided a sophisticated driving experience that appealed to careful drivers. Its interior felt more like a private study than a car cabin thanks to its thick wood trim and cozy seats. Owners frequently remember long rides in which the vehicle seemed to absorb weariness, leaving them feeling rejuvenated and in control. A fascinating historical twist is that many 2000 MkII saloons were used as official vehicles for government and law enforcement authorities, demonstrating their ability to strike a balance between practicality and respect. Driving one down a winding country road with the engine humming softly and the world moving slowly around you would be a true gentleman's ride. The Rolls Royce Silver Shadow, 1965 to 1980, which comes in at number 6, hardly requires an introduction. However, beneath the famous Spirit of Ecstasy hood ornament sits a vehicle that permanently altered people's perceptions of British luxury. This model was Rolls-Royce's first use of a monocoque chassis, which enhanced comfort and handling. Its smooth 6.2-liter V8 engine provided seamless acceleration, giving the driver total control over a work of automotive art. The Silver Shadow's interior was a haven of polished wood, thick wool carpets, hand-stitched leather, and a quiet atmosphere that seemed to slow down time itself. Even if the car didn't encourage racing, its mere existence on the road attracted attention. Would the neighbors even notice if you pulled up to a country mansion in one, or would the vehicle silently declare its own elegance? Our adventure is halfway over, and the luxury is only getting better. If space and money were unimportant, which of these vehicles would you choose for a Sunday drive? And which, decades after their manufacturing halted, do you think continues to draw attention? The next item on our list combines a surprising amount of sporting spirit with British sophistication, so the answer may surprise you. The Aston Martin Lagonda, 1976 to 1990, which completely broke convention, comes in at number 5. The Lagonda was a futuristic executive saloon with sharp lines and a bold personality, whereas Aston Martin was recognized for its sports vehicles. Its interior was renowned for being cutting-edge, featuring glass switches that gave the cabin a spaceship-like air, soft leather, and digital dashboards from the 1970s. This luxury vehicle was powered by a powerful 5.3-liter V8 engine under the bonnet, which gave it power without aggression. However, the Lagonda's resolve to stand out as a British luxury saloon that wasn't scared to defy expectations was what really set it apart. The Lagonda is still a cult favorite among those who value engineering bravery and flair. Can you picture yourself feeling like you were years ahead of everyone else on the road when you slid into those futuristic seats in the late 1970s? The Bentley S2, 1959 to 1962, at number 4 brings us back to subtle elegance. The S2 was Bentley's subdued response to sophisticated driving, while being frequently eclipsed by the Rolls Royce Silver Cloud of the same era. The saloon was a display of British workmanship, with wool carpets, leather, and polished wood that spoke to decades of history. Its 6.2-liter V8 engine produced enormous torque, enabling effortless cruising. Driving the S2 was more about the sense of control and the delight of navigating through space in a machine that had been painstakingly and patiently manufactured than it was about speed. A little-known fact: Bentley added air conditioning and power steering to the S2, two minor upgrades that improved luxury without making waves. Patience, taste, and a passion for life's finer pleasures were rewarded in this bar. As we get closer to the top 3, British luxury saloons have evolved from sophisticated modes of transportation to mobile displays of individuality and status. The Jaguar XJ6 Series 1, 1968 to 1973, which captivated both the executive class and enthusiasts, comes in third. Its lines were classic, its ride was precise but balanced, and its straight-six engine was responsive and smooth. The XJ6 interior had a blend of traditional craftsmanship and driver-focused ergonomics, with switches that felt properly weighted, seats that were made to embrace rather than confine, and wood trim that caught the light beautifully. Beyond its aesthetic appeal, the XJ6 was a sensible car with ample room for family and bags. How many saloons are both everyday buddies and fantasy machines? With grace and authority, Jaguar's engineers accomplished that uncommon achievement. The tension then increases since the next two vehicles are genuine icons, saloons that shaped a time period and made British luxury renowned worldwide. But before we reveal them, consider this. If you could only have one of these mid-list vehicles, which one would you choose? Each of these vehicles, the Bentley T-Series, the Rover P5, and the Jaguar Mark X, has a distinct presence, a spirit, and a backstory. The Rolls Royce Phantom 6, 1968 to 1991, a saloon that perfectly captures the essence of British elegance, comes in at number 2 on our list. Imagine an automobile designed for visionaries, politicians, and kings that feels less like a vehicle and more like a rolling castle. Beneath the long bonnet was a 6.75-liter V8 engine that produced a smooth, strong power that was unparalleled in its time. However, the Phantom VI's atmosphere was just as magical as its mechanics. Every inch of chrome, every curve, and every line exuded grace and moderation. The interior was an orchestra of artistry, with polished wood panels that reflected light and taste, soft leather that seemed to have absorbed decades of history, and thick rugs that muffled every sound. Riding in a Phantom 6 was more about commanding respect from the moment you appeared than it was about getting someplace. Fun fact, since several of these saloons were made to order, none of them were precisely the same. Some included custom communication panels for diplomatic travelers, while others had fold-out picnic tables for rural estates. This was more than luxury, it was a time defined by four wheels. Picture yourself behind the wheel of one of these vehicles, the city streets quivering under its weight. And finally, at number 1, the pinnacle of British luxury saloons, the Bentley Continental Flying Spur, early 1950s, 1960s. This was a car that combined elegance, power, and craftsmanship like no other. Its twin-cam straight 6, and in rare variants a V8, glided effortlessly along the road, giving a sense of control and calm that only a truly refined machine could provide. The cabin was a masterpiece of hand-stitched leather, polished wood, and chrome, each detail painstakingly crafted to perfection. Its long, sweeping bonnet and sculpted fenders made it instantly recognizable, a statement of prestige that needed no introduction. Driving a flying spur wasn't just about getting from A to B, it was about commanding attention with quiet authority, feeling every inch of engineering and artistry beneath your hands. The Bentley Continental Flying Spur didn't just redefine luxury. It immortalized it, setting the standard for British saloons for generations to come. If you've enjoyed this journey through the greatest British luxury saloons, make sure to hit subscribe and join us for more stories of classic cars, craftsmanship, and nostalgia, because these legends deserve to be remembered and celebrated.